Hi everyone, welcome back to the podcast. I'm Sal the Car Gal, and let's talk about some F1 stuff. Okay, so I know I said that last week was going to be my last one, but then I realized I can't not do these. So I'm back again. And well, we've also got the Easter long weekend for all those who celebrate. I'm just thankful for the 4-day weekend I'm about to have. So I have time to talk F1. What could be better? What could be better? So we had the Bahrain Grand Prix this past race weekend. And let's just say, thank God it wasn't a snooze fest like the previous race was. So, the Bahrain Grand Prix takes place at the Bahrain International Circuit, a track circuit of 57 laps, 15 turns, 3 DRS zones, and is 5.412 kilometers long. Now, my fave part about this race weekend was that it was overtaking galore. Thank God there was overtakes left, right, and centre, and it provided some spice and excitement to the race. Thank goodness, because you don't realise how much you miss overtakes and drama from, drivers almost hitting each other until you don't have any. I'm trying to think of the word that I want to use, but I can't think of it. So then leading to my not so fave part was Carlos having to retire from the race because of his contact with Yuki. And not gonna lie, if Carlos hadn't have had this contact, I think he actually would have done really well this race weekend, which is really disappointing because he did qualify in the top 10. And yeah, so I'm not so stoked about that. But that's okay. Let's talk qualifying. Highlights were Max's big lock up into the final corner of his first timed lap, and which kind of caused both Red Bulls waiting until the very last minute in Q1 to actually put a time on the board. Both him and Yuki were waiting till the very last minute, and I was getting a lot stressed. Like, guys, you got to get yourself a time on the board, otherwise you're not going to have anything. Ocon going off the track into the gravel and the wall at the exit of turn 3. Thank God he's okay, and his car was repaired for the race the next day, but thank goodness he's okay. Charles getting a slipstream from Kimi down the main straight. Thanks, Kimi. You did a real one, buddy. Thank you. Kimi and George came out way too early in the pit lane before the resumption of the session was announced. So when the red flag came out for Ocon's crash, the FIA then announces when the session is going to resume again. But obviously, you're not allowed to be in the pit lane prior to that being said. So they got in big trouble, causing them to both have a 1 grid place penalty for the race weekend. For the race. And then George putting in an absolute blaster of a lap in Q3. And most teams then going second behind him. And and Kimi was on pole for a hot second, and then it was taken away from him. But the McLaren in Oscar just absolutely blasted the hell around that track and put a staunching lap on pole. So, nice work, Oscar. So, let's talk results. So, P20, Behrman, P19, Stroll, P18, Bortoletto, P17, Lawson, P16, Albon, Q2, P15, Ocon, P14, Alonso, P13, Hulkenberg, P12, Hadjar, P11, Doohan. So then our final Q3, P10, Tsunoda, P9, Hamilton, P8, Sainz, P7, Verstappen, P6, Norris, P5 was Gasly, but then became Antonelli. P4 was then obviously Antonelli. P3 was Leclerc, but is now Russell. So P2 is Leclerc and P1 Piastri. So, just to clarify, Russell qualified P2 and Kimi qualified P4, but were demoted into P3 and P5. Grid penalties. Okay, let's talk some race highlights. And let me tell you, there is a lot. Except I don't like mentioning the first one. It was Charles losing 2 places at the start, but then Lando gaining 3 places at the start. Bart was also noted for being out of position, out of his grid box, and was then given a 5-second penalty. George had an excellent start, flying up into P2. The amazing battle between Carlos and Kimi. Underrated performance by Behrman because he made up 5 places at the start. And then not so good was Carlos's battle with Lewis and Tsunoda and then losing 2 places. And then also not good, Max's green light to tell them that they can be released from their pit box, from the pit lane, never came on. So technically, could that be considered an unsafe release? And then this one kind of stressed me out a little bit, but Ferrari's double stack and forcing Charles to do a 2-stop strategy because they put a medium set on and he was already on a medium. And I was like, oh my God, the mediums were not really working out for him then. And then they came to life because both Charles and Lewis suddenly had pace and were making overtakes left, right, and centre. So, slay. Max and Kimi had a little battle. That's a bit sweet. Then Max had a second slow pit stop. So, Red Bull's pit stops were not it this weekend. And, of course, then Yuki and Carlos's contact causing the safety car to come out to clear the debris. And Charles had a poor restart after the safety car ended, so that wasn't fun. And then Lando passing Lewis off track. Lots of track limit violations by everyone, and Kimi was amongst one of them that was shown the black and white flag. So, yeah, we haven't seen one of those in a while. Then Sainz missing his side pod and having to, well, it was like someone had literally punched a hole in it. Not good. So he had to retire from the race. Then George completely losing his dashboard. And then his engineer having to manually tell him when he can turn on his DRS and when he can't. What else? We had Charles and Lando battles towards the end, and I so hoped that Charles was going to be on the podium at the end of the race, but Lando just had that little tiny baby bit more pace. Bit spicy, but Verstappen took 6th place away from Gasly right at the line. what a frustration for Alpine. And then Oscar was in a complete league of his own, winning that race by 15 seconds, I think it was. And just to top it all off, and I'm sure everyone else is in the same boat as me when I say this, that the graphics need to get their together. Like, are you serious? Like, George was flying from P2 to P20 about 3 different times, and then the timings were wrong, or it was just lagging. Like, it was not it. It was not it. And then them having to resort to the little in the right hand corner of the screen, like lap classifications and just the top 10. Like, I like to see what the different, like, the intervals are between the racing cars. The racing cars, I don't know why I call it that. But no. Just a big fat no. Didn't love it at all. But let's move on, because it's going to make me cranky. And I hope they sort it out for this weekend. So, predictions. My prediction for pole position was Charles Leclerc. And as I said last time, I am just delusionally thinking that my boy Charles is going to start doing well. Maybe I'm jinxing him. Maybe I should start predicting other people. And then he'll start doing well. That's probably how it will start to go, to be fair. So, pole position, I predicted Charles Leclerc, but it was Oscar Piastri. My rogue prediction was, so I think I kind of cooked here, to be fair, was that this safety car appears at least once. And it did. Only once, but that I said at least once. If it had come more, then I still would have taken it, because it still appeared at least once. Then my delusional prediction was that there would be a Ferrari double podium. What do we have to do to get them back at the front, guys? Like, they did so well. They were doing so well last year. I don't understand where this pace has gone. They were killing it in testing in Bahrain. That's why I got, like, super happy about coming back to this track, because I knew that there would be something. I mean, there was, but there wasn't at the same time. So that was a big fat no. It was close, almost half, but no. Sad. But my P1 to P5 was P1, Charles Leclerc. It was Oscar Piastri. My P2 was Lando Norris. It was George Russell. It was close. My P3, Lewis Hamilton, but it was Lando. My P4, I predicted Lando Norris. It was Charles. And my P5, I predicted Alex, but it was Lewis. So that wraps up that. And, you know, we've got Saudi coming up. And I'm thinking that this could turn things around. Or I'm just putting it out into the universe that things are going to turn around. Because I'm kind of over this, like, mental angst I'm in at the end of every race weekend because Ferrari aren't on the podium. Like, last year, when you look at, like, the F1 app, and it's, like, really satisfying that each race weekend at the beginning of the year, there was at least one, if not two, Ferraris on the podium. Now, every single podium has been Red Bull, Mercedes, or McLaren, a combination of that. And, you know, I'm all here for a McLaren dominance, because it's about time that someone else deserves a dominant car other than Red Bull. But I'm like, why can't it be my team? Why can't it be my team? Please? Please! I beg. But things will turn around this weekend. I can feel it. So, to preface, I don't think you can really get rid of me. Yeah. I like doing these too much to walk away and not do them as regularly. Even if they're out a little bit later, it doesn't matter. You still watch them, you still listen to them, so it's good. And yeah, so thank you everyone so much for listening and watching and listening my thoughts and brain vomit when it comes to F1, my favorite talking subject. And don't forget to follow along on social media. I've had a burst of inspiration and have started a new series called Hot and Not, so you can check out my first one. It's on my Instagram and TikTok and YouTube channel, actually. Just talking about 3 hots and 3 nots from the weekend. Actually, I talked about 4, so that's a lie. I lied. I'm sorry. But yeah, hots and nots from the weekend, and then my prediction videos, my race week videos. Just stay up to date, okay? And leave any questions, comments, reviews, ratings, whatever you want. I don't mind. I love hearing from you. And yeah, anyways, have a beautiful day and an amazing week, and I will see you next time. Peace out.